What's up guys, this is Spencer from Pixel and Bracket. In this video, we're gonna look at how to add a little sidebar pop-out menu using the Lightbox features in the Wix editor. So I picked out a little portfolio website template that I thought could maybe use a different type of menu system here. So we're gonna be looking at adding a pop-out menu using the Lightbox features. And the first thing I wanna do is actually just delete the existing menu if you already have one. So to do this, I'm going to select that element and literally just hit the delete key on your keyboard. So now we have no menu system whatsoever. Let's go ahead and start building it. We're going to add a lightbox to our page. So I'm going to click the add button in our tool panel to the left. This is going to drop down and give me a lot of different choices. I'm going to find Lightbox, and inside of Lightbox, I'm going to scroll down and find some kind of a side pop-out menu. How about this one here, just a sidebar lightbox. So we're going to click on that and it's going to add it to our page. I'm going to just say don't show this again to this little dialog box, and we can work with our lightbox over here. So we can move around this little tool panel, by the way, so it's not on top of our lightbox. And what we want to do here is just go ahead and delete each of the elements that are already inside of our lightbox. So same way we deleted the menu, select the element, hit delete, select, delete, select, and delete. I'm not going to delete the X button in the top right hand corner. We're going to need that to exit out of the menu, so I'm going to keep that in there. I want to add in just a vertical menu. So I'm going to go back to that plus icon. It's the add, just adding all these different elements. You can find menu in here. Once we have menu selected, there's lots of different horizontal menus, and if you scroll down, you'll find some vertical menus as well. I'm going to look for one that might be sort of like what I'm going for, potentially just this first one, and I can click and drag to drop it into my lightbox over here. So now we've got the menu set up with work, store, and info, the same three that we had before, but I want to do a little bit of work on the design of this. So I'm going to hit the little paintbrush icon, that's the vertical menu designer here. And we've got some themed designs, but I can also, if I select the first one here, straight up customize that design. So I'm going to hop into there and we can do all sorts of things. One thing I want to do is customize the text. I really want the color of the text to be white, and I also want the font of the text to be a little bit more heavy, potentially something like a Helvetica bold. From there, we're going to scroll down. I want this font to be a little bit larger, and I would like it to be bold, but since it's already Helvetica bold, I'm going to leave it just normal since it's already got that bold look. We can also customize our submenu text, but we don't have a submenu currently, so that's all right. Now, we customized the color of the text, but we didn't customize the hover, and also on the clicked, notice the work, we're on the work tab right now, so that's the currently selected tab. I'm going to switch that to that. We might do something like this pink as a selection instead of the gray there. So for the hover, I'm also going to select pink. I think that works a little bit better than the gray tones. The last thing I want to do with the design is maybe adjust the layout a little bit. I actually want this menu to be centered rather than justified left or to the right. So I'm going to exit out of that. That's how I can center up the menu, and then I can just drag this around to wherever I want. So we have work, store, and info there on the side, and that pops out with our lightbox panel. Now, in the same way we customized the menu, we can also customize some things with the lightbox. There's one particular element that we do need to change, but you can also click on the lightbox and then click on the design tab to adjust the design and the color of it and also the layouts of it. But we're going to go to the settings of the lightbox, because one thing we really need to do is this menu needs to be opened up specifically from an element, not automatically on all pages. So we need to go ahead and select no on that part. We're going to link to the lightbox later. Then I can exit out of that, and I can go back to my main page by clicking on this page drop down and selecting work, and that's where we're at right here. And I want to put an element on here that's going to open up our menu. We can go back to the add tool and find any type of shape, vector art, or image that we want to use as the button. I'm going to actually select from the buttons and scroll down a little bit because I know that there is a little hamburger menu icon inside of the buttons tab. And so I'm going to click and drag this out to center it on my page here. And I've actually added it to my header, which means it's going to show on all pages, which is exactly what I want it to do. So this little icon, I think he's a little small. We're gonna scale him up just by grabbing the corner, and then I'm gonna make sure he's in the center again, and we're gonna leave him right there. Now we wanna link our little Lightbox menu to this icon. And so I'm gonna click the link button and select from the Lightbox dropdown and select our subscribe sidebar, which isn't the correct name for that. And we can adjust that and I'll show you how, but that's the one we wanna select to link it. And I'm gonna hit done once we're done with that. And to change that, we can go up to menus and pages down to Lightboxes, and we can rename this to whatever we want, and also duplicate, delete, or adjust the settings of it from this manager right here. Now to preview what happens with our Lightbox, we can click the preview button in our upper right hand corner. So now we're previewing the page itself. We actually previewed the Lightbox there for a moment, but we want to make sure we can click this element and that Lightbox is going to pop out and we have our menu system right here. Now since this is in the header, you'll want to check each of your pages. We're going to go back to the editor with that green button. You're going to want to check each of your pages to make sure this element displays in the way that you want it to. Another important factor is that when you check your mobile editor by clicking on the little mobile there, we actually already have a mobile menu. So what we want to do with this icon button is make sure it does not show. We can click the hide element here, or we can right click and click hide right there. So now we have a hidden element on our page. It doesn't show and everything bumps up. We already have the mobile menu, which is the proper menu to use in this case. And on the desktop version of the site, we've got the little hamburger menu icon button that opens up our sidebar menu in our Lightbox. That's it for this tutorial. I know there was a lot involved here. If you guys have any questions, make sure you ask them down below. Thanks for watching. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe for more tips and tutorials, and I'll see you guys next time.